So we're gonna make this lens look like this one using about 20 minutes of time and $10. So I picked this up from O'Reilly, Master Pro Small Area Sanding Kit. Comes with, let's see, sandpaper 400, 1000, 1500. So what you do is you start at the 400 level, 400 grit sandpaper, work into 1000 and 1500. Then we'll finish it off with some scratch out. But you're basically gonna sand this down. It comes with this little sanding block. It's flexible, it's pliable, it's not hard, it's like almost like a hard sponge. So then we're gonna start with the 400 grit sandpaper, working down to the 1000 and the 1500. So those are the three grits of sandpaper that they come with the kit. There's also another one at O'Reilly that came with a little bit finer, but I decided to go with this just to start with the 400 and then work my way up to the finer sandpaper. So you can see there it's 41-300 Master Pro from O'Reilly Auto Parts. So let's get started. So you pull out a little sanding tab right here on the block. Has almost like a Velcro. You just stick this on here. All right. And the next thing you're gonna need is a bucket. I have a 5-gallon bucket here full of water and a sponge. So we're gonna wet sand this. So you wanna keep this wet while you're sanding, and just bring your 400 in. Then we'll go to the 1000 and the 1500. I don't know if I'll bore you with this, but you just start working it. Keep getting it wet. And then after about 10 minutes of work, 20 minutes of work, just depending on how clear you want your lens is, you'll get all this oxidation out the front of the lens, and it'll be crystal clear. So working our way around. See all the yellow coming off? That's all the oxidation. So keep this wet. Don't let it get dry. Just working back and forth. I work in this motion, just with the lines of the headlight. Some people do circles. Some people go up and down. The key on this is just to stay consistent. If you stay with this way, or if you go this way, or you do this way, just stay consistent on which way you're going. Re-wet my sponge. And you might need to change your sandpaper out after a while. So I'll start with the 400. You can see down here all that oxidation. All right, I'm going to change out the sanding pad. Got a new sanding pad here. Get my sponge wet again. Get the sponge wet again. We're done with the 400. Now we're moving on to the 1000 grit sandpaper. You can see it looks a little bit better, but it's still a little bit faded. So the finer sandpaper will bring this back and make a clear, nice finish. They sell kits that actually do this. I've seen them at Harbor Freight, I've seen them at AutoZone, I've seen them at Pet Boys, I've seen them at O'Reilly's. But it's just the same concept. You're just sanding down this clear lens. Some of them use sandpaper, some of them use a orbital buffer. Not an orbital buffer, but the little tiny round buffer that fits onto your drill. But it's just the same concept. You're just sanding down the plastic with ever finer, I guess, is that a word? Ever finer sandpaper. Continually finer sandpaper. So like I said, I got this at O'Reilly Auto Parts. 10 bucks, dude. 10 bucks to fix these. And then another thing to actually lock this in, why these fade in the first place is these headlights are exposed to the sun for however many years the car's been made, and sun actually oxidizes the plastic. So if you want to keep this permanent, you actually have to get a clear like a clear coat that's UV protectant, and you spray it on the headlight, and it keeps the headlight from oxidizing over again. Let me show you what that looks like real quick. Here's the clear coat. Got this from Home Depot, I believe. 2 times clear coat. Also bonds to plastic, seals, protects, and rejuvenates. Wood, metal, plastic, and more. So I'm actually going to go to get another 1000 sanding pad and do this a little bit more. See, it just, the water eats it up. So just continue this process. Now I'm going to go to the 1500 grit sandpaper. Keep it wet. Now we're working with the 1500 grit sandpaper. So do the same thing as you've done before. Do this for about 5 minutes or so. Keep it wet. And then we'll come in with some scratch out. Keep it wet. All right, so we've gone through all the grits of sandpaper. You can see it looks a lot better now. A little bit more clear. You have a little bit of a haze right there. Last thing we're going to do is use Scratch Out by Kit. Clear Coat Scratch Remover. Removes scratches, easily eliminates swirl marks, brightens dull paint. So you're just going to need to, you can leave this wet when you actually apply it. Just get a clean cloth, an old t-shirt, an old towel, and we'll buff this on a couple times and then buff it off. Shake the bottle up. Got a towel. Go ahead and dry that off a little bit. Apply some directly to the rag. This is an old t-shirt of mine. Okay. Got that. Now go ahead and put this stuff on. Just like you're waxing a car. You could use rubbing compound to do this. Scratch remover. It doesn't have to necessarily be this specific kind. There's a lot of scratch removers out there for paint. So one thing that I did to the other headlight is actually sprayed it with the clear coat, the UV protectant clear coat. I'm actually going to leave this one naked if you want. I'm not going to put a clear coat on it because I want to see 6 months down the line if that clear coat actually stops the headlight from oxidizing. Passenger side headlight as a test. This will be my control. So get that out. If you've got an orbital buffer, you could get the orbital buffer on here with the scratch out and make it that much easier, and you probably get a little bit more of a clear finish. But hey, not too bad. For I don't know what, 20 minutes of work, 15 minutes of work, $10 from O'Reilly Auto Parts. This is how you remove oxidation from a headlight, clear up the haze, restore your headlights. If you have found any of my videos helpful, please consider subscribing to Bundys Garage on YouTube. Questions, comments, concerns, you can always email me at bundysgarage@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Bundys Garage. I'll probably put one more thing at scratch out. Like I said, any rubbing compound or scratch out type product you could use on the headlight. So not bad for 10 bucks of greenbacks and 15 minutes of work, 20 minutes of work. And like always, I'll keep them rolling for you.